Alright, so welcome to today's lesson on the distributive property of multiplication. And this first lesson is lesson 1. What does it mean to distribute? So let's look at an example. That we have the number, or the number sentence, 9 times 4 plus 3. Well, anything that we have in parentheses, we want to do that first. So first thing we do is add up 4 plus 3, which is 7. And then you have a simpler number sentence that is 9 times 7. Well, that will give you a product of 63. Well, you have another way that you can do this. So instead of adding 4 plus 3, another way you can do this, and let me rewrite this in another color. 9 times 4 plus 3. Well, if you take the 9 and say, well, I'm going to multiply 9 times 4 plus first, then after that, I'm going to multiply 9 times 3. And then after I'm done, I'm going to add both of them up. Well, if you do that, you end up with a problem like this. 9 times 4 plus 9 times 3. And so what you get is a partial product of 36 plus another partial product of 27. When you add those two things together, you get a final product of 63. And what you can see that this matches what we did in the first problem. Well, what we're talking about here is we're talking about a new property called the distributive property of multiplication. Excuse me. And what the distributive property means that multiplying a sum by a number that is the same as multiplying each add-in by the number and then adding the partial products. So let's kind of go through. So let's look at one more example before we end this lesson. Let's say that we have the number 6 times 4 plus 5. Now, remember, our first option is to just take 4 and 5 and add them up to make 9. And then we have 6 times 9, which is 54. Now, our other alternative to doing this is to take 6 and distribute it to the 4 and the 5 and to make partial products. So I can distribute the 6 here and distribute the 6 here and multiply it by each one of the add-ins. So we have 6 times 4 plus 6 times 5. Now we have to solve the parts that are in parentheses first. And we have a partial product of 24 plus a partial product of 30. And 24 plus 30 is 54. And as you can see, both of those still match what we were talking about. So we're going to be doing more work with the distributive property in class later. And that is the end of our lesson on the distributive property of multiplication.